Hi, my name is Kyle, and I'm here to talk to you today about tracks in the MSTI program. We have 2 tracks in the program which have been created with industry guidance to give you in-demand skills in a variety of different technology careers. First, though you did have to choose a track during your admissions process, we do offer students the chance to change their track before the program starts. So we're hoping that you use this opportunity to learn more about what each track has to offer and make a decision if you want to change your track or not. Um, Most of the curriculum is the same between the 2 tracks, but some of the specific skills that you'll learn and practice differ, and you'll use key technologies in slightly different ways in each track. We hope that you'll take this opportunity to learn more about the tracks and their related career outcomes so that to make sure that you'll gain the skills that will suit your interests and future plans the best. Most of the differences in the tracks really boil down to the technical courses. Since the design and business courses are mostly relevant to any technology product or solution, it's the technical execution which can be the most different. Though each track takes the same technical foundation courses like sensors and circuits and machine learning, some of the specific tools and technologies that you'll learn in each course may be applied slightly differently when it comes to your lab and capstone courses. And these 2 courses are really the biggest difference in your tracks. Connected devices labs and projects are typically involving customized hardware or software solutions, where robotics labs and projects, as you might imagine, use a robotics platform to operate in a physical space with human users. Um, each track also has some differences in technology platforms, user experience approaches, and uses AI and machine learning differently, and has some very common problem spaces or environments that are commonly being seen in these tracks. So if you look at our previous previous projects on our website, this may help you gain an understanding of common problem areas, sponsors, or technologies that we've been utilizing in recent years. Um, it's also really important to consider the direction that the career fields that you're looking at are moving in. As with many other things in the technology space, these careers are evolving very rapidly, and you'll want to make sure that you're gaining, the skills that you need to be successful in the career that you're most interested in. We're doing the best in our program to keep pace with industry demands, and we are constantly revising our curriculum to stay current on the latest trends. For example, in AI and machine learning, you will probably see additional coursework, and it sort of woven throughout many of your classes as a common thread. Also, again, since we're created to keep pace with career trends, many of the industries that MSTI grads are working in right now are still projected to see strong growth over the next few years. And there's a lot of opportunities in some specialized areas like IoT devices and service robotics. So check their provided links and for some market research in some of these areas. And hopefully this helps guide your own research into how these fields are growing and what skills might be the most critical to you in your own personal journey. Okay. First, let's talk about the robotics track. Our robotics track is designed to teach students how to build autonomous service robotics solutions using industry standard technologies like ROS2, which can be applied to many commercially available robotics platforms. The robotics track in the MSTI program does not focus on the engineering behind building a robot, but really teaching these students to use existing commercial platforms and programming them for customized applications or different users. So there's currently a little bit of a gap in the robotics field between the companies that are engineering and building the robots and the companies and organizations that want to deploy them in their everyday environments. And our students are really well positioned to help bridge that gap by understanding how to deploy a robotic solution into a real-world situation. That means our robotics track is actually a little bit of a rarity in that we have designed the track for students who have no previous background, but also has the opportunity for students to do come in with some technical knowledge to deepen their skills and understand, more appropriate industry trends and how to really build a realistic robotic solution that can operate in an everyday environment. One particular area to think about is how machine learning and AI are being used in the robotics track. There are some very specific tools and technologies that are being used in robotics, like reinforcement learning and vision language action models, which are rapidly emerging as a really effective robotics solution. among many other technologies that you'll be working with. A few things to note about the world of robotics development, however, is hardware and software use in robotics is pretty specialized. And to make the most of this course, you may need a computer that meets some fairly specific requirements. And of course, the key part here is it's important to note that Macs can't really be used effectively in this track. Sorry, Mac users, really. Connected devices, meanwhile, switching gears here real quickly. Connected devices is a bit more of a broadly scoped track and works with a wide range of hardware and software platforms. So in this track, you could be doing anything from developing a mobile app that interfaces with a custom-built smart device, AR/VR program, or some purely software-based programs which are using AI and machine learning to process and collects data in different ways to present an actual product to an end user. Could be anything between specialized AI models, training your own data sets, or looking at scoping down a large language model to create your product in this case. So overall, the range of skills and problem sets you're going to learn in the connected devices track is fairly diverse. And there's a bit more opportunity to build customized hardware and software solutions in the connected devices track, since there typically aren't strictly defined platforms that you have to design for. So in many cases, your products may be applicable to a wider range of user populations, but also be a little bit easier to deploy with smaller groups of users and more flexibly, because just the scope of some of these projects can be smaller because of the lower costs involved in sort of deploying them into the real world. This is definitely not to say that this track is not technical, because it definitely is, and it has a really big focus on working with data, especially in terms of collection and processing and storage and transmission of data. And of course, if you're a diehard Mac user, you can certainly use a Mac with no issues in this track. So hopefully that's good news for you. We really hope this information is a good place to start as you explore the different tracks. We really encourage you to think about your future direction and future career by doing some research on your own. So we provided some information to help you get started with that. Look at some of our past projects again to see how they may map into your future goals. And of course, talk to our current students and alumni on their experiences in the program and how it relates to their current careers in the case of alumni. If you do decide to change tracks, you can speak with your advisor before orientation, and it's a very quick and easy process. So once you get into your pre-advising appointments, this is something you can keep in mind. Thanks a lot. If you have any other questions or thoughts, of course, please feel to reach out to us. Otherwise, we look forward to working with you. Thanks.